In today's video, I want to show you how you can set up a Shopify store with Framer, and the integration we use is called Shopiframe, which helps you bridge between Shopify and Framer, whether you have a single product store or a much bigger project. So without further ado, let's see what we have. All right, before we start, I have to mention that this is the profile that we have on Framer Marketplace. And as you can see, we do have 3 templates. 2 of them are free and one of them is paid actually, this Blaza. And the Mora template is actually a single product store. And the one that we're going to use in this video is SIATRA. And as you can see, this is a very beautiful template. And if we scroll down, you'll see the collections, and then some pick products and the rest of the products. And yeah, the sections below that is just generic kind of data. And what we're going to do is actually, I'm gonna sync all of these collections and let's say product cards to CMS that is coming from Shopify. And after that, we're gonna set up a cart and some checkout sections and everything that is related to setting up a shop and Framer from 0 to 100. All right, so let's go to the next part, which is setting up a store on Shopify first. All right, the first part is about how to set up a Shopify store. First, we do have plugins, and if you search for Shopiframe, you'll see it. And then on the store configuration part, we only need a domain and a storefront access token. Okay, these 2 fields. And if we go back to the Shopify admin panel, you'll see that we could actually do the process manually before, but right now we have to go to the Shopify App Store and install the Headless, which is very easy to install it. Like, you just need to click on the install, and then it's going to be appeared in the admin panel, and you can just basically hit this button to create a storefront, and that's it. It's automatically done. Okay. And I'm going to rename it to Shopiframe test and hit save. And as you can see, this is storefront API with the manage. I'm going to hit manage, and this is my public access token. I'm going to copy it and then, head over to Framer and paste it here. And for the domain, I'm going to go back once again to my setting on Shopify and click on the domains. This is the domain that I have. I'm going to copy it and then paste it here. Very easy. I just need to hit that connect to Shopify. And right now, my Framer is synced with my Shopify. Okay, that's it. All right, everything is successfully connected. And if I go to my CMS, as you can see, we don't have any products, let's say CMS. So what we're going to do is actually, these are the products that we want to sync. And we created the storefront and connected with Framer. And right now, what we're going to do is actually, we're going to click on the CMS, on the plugins, and run Shopiframe. And it says that we need to create a new collection. So I'm going to hit create. And as you can see, it's trying to sync everything with Shopify and load all of the products. All right, everything is loaded here. And if you need second image and third image, you need to just turn them on, and you can just add a custom field, or let's say add meta fields. So I don't need them. I'm going to just hit sync. And as you can see, everything is going to be synced with Framer. All right, we do have the products successfully connected with, let's say, Shopify. And if you see any kind of error at this stage, if you don't see any product here, make sure that you go to your specific product, and on the publishing, click on this button and try to look for the storefront that you created. It might be enabled, or let's say disable. If you want it, make sure you enable the option, and then that's it. So if you want to do this with your collections, it's kind of the same. If I go to, for example, this format, and on the publishing, if I hit manage, you can see that it's checked on the Headless and SIATRA Template, which is basically not related to this video. But yeah, If you see this headless, make sure you check it on and then hit done. And the collection and the products is going to be appearing on your CMS. Okay, we do have the products and it's successfully synced. And if I go back at this stage, what we need to do is actually we need to read all of these cards from the CMS that we just synced from Shopify. All right, everything is successfully connected and we've fetched the data from the Shopify. And what we need to do is actually right now we need to sync all of these, let's say, CMS items with inserting the CMS that we just created with Shopiframe. So I'm going to get rid of these items and just replace them with the product card that we have. And here we need to limit it to 3 because it's what the design tells us. And right now, let's make them fill. And the Shopiframe, let's say, collection needs to be filled also. And then, yep, it's ready. What we need to do is actually we need to set the variable of the featured image and title so that we have the real data on the CMS. Okay. So we're going to do the same process here. We're going to insert again a collection, the Shopify collection, and get rid of these product cards. Yep, nice. And replace it with the random data that we have from the CMS. And let's make it fill. Let's make it horizontally directioned. And yep, the product cards needs to be 256 with fixed, let's say, width. And right now, what we need to do is actually we need to set this to fit content. Okay. So right now, everything is ready. Again, we're going to set the featured image and title. And right now, everything is real data here. Okay, so I'm going to do the same process for Milano, Terra, Luna, and Forma. These are the collections that we have, and we just need to sync the data from CMS. And obviously, I'm going to speed up the process, but right now, as you can see, the price is kind of, let's say, generic in the same for all the cards. So what we need to do is actually we need to open up Shopiframe again and import some, let's say, components. So which I'm going to explain in the next part. I'm going to go over the components and everything that we need to set up a store and try to customize all of the components. So stay tuned for the following part. All right, as you can see, everything is ready and all the CMS data is placed into the carts. And yep, Milano, Terra, Luna, Forma collections are done. And what we need to do is actually we need a index page for all of the products in the CMS. And this is how it should look like, but we need to add some, let's say, components from Shopify. If I open up the plugin, you'll see that there is a lot of products and cart and everything that you need for, let's say, components that you need. And for this subscription, for example, you have to go back to store configuration and try to turn on the selling plan, which is very important. This is the only tip that I should mention for this specific component. But rest of them are basically nothing too fancy. Just you need to just set the product ID and then customize it, which is all the components are very customizable just to match it up with your design language. And I'm sure that it's completely flexible with everything that you have on your canvas. Okay. So what we need to do is actually, I'm going to search for image gallery and then just drag it into my canvas. I go to the layers, you can see that it's added here. And yep, if I make it fill, and as you can see, it's asking for product ID. And as I said, everything that you import from Shopify needs a product ID, which is basically which plays a key role for each and every product that you have. Basically, it's addressing to the specific product data. Okay. So what we need to do is actually, we need to once again open up Shopiframe. And I have to mention another important tip. As you can see, it's not loading our images, and that is because this test mode is on, and everything that you see is basically some kind of, let's say, sample data, nothing real. And if we turn it off, you can see all of the real data and, let's say, the images that we have for this specific product. Okay. All right. Now, just to show you this terms, for example, completely, let's say, customizable. I'm gonna make it, let's say, 3, 4. Yep, the ratio, type, background color, radius. For example, if I set the radius to 0, which is kind of like the same direction that I'm following on the design. If I change the size, you'll see that everything is customizable. And if I go to the direction, you can see that I can make it row. And the important thing is actually this image also has ratio, type, background, radius, and everything. Like it's completely customizable, as I said. Okay. You can enable zoom level. Like you can zoom through your, let's say, images, which I'm not going to do that. If you have some sort of, let's say, videos, it could be autoplay. You can have controls, all of the, let's say, abilities provided. And you can hide the thumbs. You can make it visible. You can style the image. And yep, that's good. Okay. Let's set it to 3, 4, and let's make it fill. Nice. And for these texts, I'm going to set it to title. This needs to be set with the description, and this breadcrumb needs to basically set to the shop slug. And for the content, I'm going to just set it to title. Okay. There's multiple components that we need, like, for example, add to cart component. And as you can see, this is just a regular kind of type of framework components, and it's not important from Shopify. There's a tip. Another tip that I have to mention is actually if we go to the components and if I add the add to cart here, let's add it here. And yep, again, let's set the product ID. And nice. And yep, if I bring it, let's say, yep, if I bring it here, and as you can see, there's two types. Like you can set custom components, or you can go with the default one and just style it. Okay. I'm going to go with custom component and select the main button that I have here. Okay. I'm going to select it. And as you can see, it's completely okay in running through my, let's say, canvas. And okay, what we need to do is actually we need to import a multiple, let's say, a bunch of components. For example, price. We need to search for price and then add it here. Set the product ID, and nice. As you can see, the color is something like a dark color. That's why we cannot see it. And yep, nice. Okay. As you can see, everything is coming from, let's say, CMS with just setting a product ID, and that's it. Okay. Quantity selector. We need a quantity selector. I'm gonna add it to the page. Once again, set the product ID. And yep, the style color is not visible. I'm going to set it to, the border radius to 0. And nice. What else do we need? We need let's say, a component for, let's say, the, what was it called? Option selector or, variant selector. That's it. That's the component that we need. Okay. And this is the magic product ID. And as you can see, it is all the variants that we have. For example, the color, seed type, or everything that you set on your Shopify. Okay. So I'm going to select the variables. I'm going to select these and then set it to 14. Color, something like this. Well, let's go with grade 2. And yep, the background color needs to be very, very deselected. And then for the selected ones, I want to go with light green on the font, and the background needs to be, let's say, something like this, or yep, we definitely need a border. And yep, let's set the width. Perfect. Okay. I'm not gonna style too much because this is a tutorial. I'm just gonna wrap it up ASAP and try to, yep, let's basically put this here, add to cart. Okay. And let's make the direction horizontal. And yep. Yep, let's make this one here. And nice. It seems like it's ready. But yeah, and add some spacing, these type of things. And yep, okay. And right now, what we need to do is actually we need to go for the process of, let's say, add to cart and cover that. Okay. So in the next part, I'm going to teach you about how to add this specific product, or let's say all of the products pages. If you go to the products pages and then click on some random products, you can add to cart and then finish up with checkout process. Okay, everything feels ready. And what we need to do is actually we need to add a, let's say, overlay for this add to cart button. And as you can see, I have added a custom, let's say, cart component, and the cart list and subtotal and checkout button are separately added into this one. And as you can see, we do have on, if I open up Shopiframe, you can see on the components that we have cart overlay. If I add it to my canvas, you'll see that this generic component is basically added. What we can do is actually, we can customize everything and then separately add those components. For example, the cart list is basically the chosen products, or let's say the favorite products they want to buy. And the subtotal is the final price and checkout button. Okay. So let's go back and open up the model that we just pasted. As you can see, pre-made, or let's say component for empty states is linked to the cart list for when you have nothing on your cart, and the checkout button is linked to another, let's say, custom component, just like what we did for add to cart. Okay. And this subtotal is another component. You can all search them all inside Shopiframe. You'll find it. For example, let's go with subtotal. You can find it here, or let's say checkout. Okay. It's pretty easy. Like, you just need to drag them into your component. And right now, what we need to do is actually we need to publish the website to see if the add to cart process works fine. Okay. I'm going to open up the website. And as you can see, if I go to shops, I do have something here. Let me just remove it. It's from the past. And yeah, if I open up this one, for example, and add it to my cart, you can see that the price is the same on the subtotal. If I increase the number, it goes up. And if I click on the checkout, you'll see that because my store is deactive, it's just a test kind of project. That's why you see this page, okay? And if you want to return to your store, or let's say return to another link, there is a code override that we provided, which I'm going to explain on the following part. And for now, everything feels right. For example, if I open up this and add it to my cart, you'll see that everything works fine. Finally, the last part is dedicated to a common problem. If we hit the checkout button, as you can see, we see this page, and it's because the store that we have is not activated. And if we want to return the user to somewhere, or let's say the first page of the website of the store that we have, or redirect the user to, let's say, again, somewhere, we have to basically copy this snippet code that we have on the Shopiframe Discord channel. This is under the pinned messages, and yep. If we head over to basically your home on Shopify, under the online store themes, you'll see this Dawn, which is the current theme that we have. And then if we hit edit code, you'll see that the Shopify editor comes up. And then under the layout theme liquid, we have to paste this snippet under the link canonical URL. Okay. So, and what this does is actually it redirects the user to specific URL that you provided. For example, if I say https and / google.com, after the return to a store is hit it. Wait a second, I didn't save this. Okay, now it's cool. If we go back, you'll see that if I hit this, I'm going to be redirected to google.com. Okay, and that's it. All right, guys, that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. And if you have any question or let's say issue, make sure you contact our customer care team or drop a comment down below. I'll reply ASAP. And I should mention that everything that I used is in the description, the links and everything you need. So see you in the next one. Peace.